Yeah, this is Jack Raspers, sporting my oil treated canvas hat today, and going up against some blackberries that go pretty fast in this area, a lot of moisture, and that's why I got this hat on, because expecting some rain. It was a little bit this morning. Anyway, I'm just a guy that is making himself available. I get a lot of questions from people because they like to complicate things and they want to see a twist on something, and life, death, purpose, meaning. I mean, there's some pretty deep stuff there, and I can deal with that. I can go with you one-on-one on that. But you need the amount of time. We're not just going to say, okay, this is what it is, because that's not just what it is. There's a lot of facets to something. Like people that say that they have the truth. The truth is so big that you can't have that. You can only have a portion of it in your words, in your mouth at the time. And you're going to keep on talking for quite a while about a truth, because it's bigger than just one word. And so when someone says they have the truth on something, I believe them, and I think that is correct, but I believe that it is only a facet of the truth. For example, that the wind blows from the north. That's probably not a very good example, because in itself that can be clear to somebody, but people that have a little more intelligence are gonna want more information on that, and that's only one part of the climate system and the wind patterns for this area. We got a convergence layers of two different layers coming here, so you get them coming from the north, but the majority of it comes from off the south of off the ocean, Pacific side. We're on the Pacific side over here, on the Canadian border, between the Olympic Mountains and Straits of Juan de Fuca, in that area. And so let's continue on here. And life is complicated enough for us to have a big conversation about all the will be's and the has be's and the for weathers and dunners, all that kind of stuff. Imaginary scenarios and stuff like that. So there was if someone's asking about the purpose of life or what the truth is, well, if you're talking about the truth, we ain't got time for that. Truth is a realism, a reality. Unfortunately, there is an actual fact. A fact of the truth. If you follow the light back and you properly have the interpretive capacity, let's say it's a scientific thing, and you're able to interpret it in two ways and three ways to come up with the same conclusion by reading the light of something that happened, then it's realistically or real. You can gauge that, and for the most part, you can have that accepted as the truth. The problem with, I think, the truth nowadays is people have their angle, or what they see, or how their experience affects it, or maybe how they can connect it to something else that may be a truth, and so they're trying to connect the two, and they should actually do connect, but I'm sure there's a lot of things in between that are going to have to connect these two truths. So everybody's wondering how all these things connect, and pretty much now there's a lot that has been done to connect solid truths. Now, when you get to speculative truths, like future and time and how things are going to go and how things are going to actually work out, does anybody have the power to do that. So it's speculative, and that's interesting. Let's go ahead and hear it from you. Let's go ahead and hear it from you, and if we got time, let's do it. But we're trying to cut this down to 1 minute to 3 minute comments. So give me a note. Give me a note, and yeah, I got a section on self-defense also, not from blackberries. On that situation, there's a distance from blackberries. Holly trees also. Cleaning up some holly tree branches and trimming holly tree. Those grow really fast, and they have those leaves that have super sharp pieces, but I've done enough of them I can just pick them up with my hands. They get a little bit thorny and stuff, and I can deal with stuff by hand that, you know, you'll take on some wear and tear. But anyway, let's close this out. Let's close this out. Jack Raspers on a scenario depiction of what it is. Think about it. Take your time. Think about it. What it is. Jack Raspers.